Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. It's week 13 in the NFL, and the Carolina Panthers just killing it week in and week out, and we are going to analyze their week 13 game against the New Orleans Saints with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Joe Duffy, Carolina did it again last week. Now they're still undefeated, 11-0 straight up, 9-2 against the spread, and it wasn't a fluky cover. They covered by double digits. The Saints came off their bye and had nothing on offense. They got blown out. And, the Saints have now lost 3 in a row straight up in ATS. The question is, are we going to see a bounce back from the Saints on offense? If you think so, maybe you take New Orleans. If not, have to assume Carolina has value once again. My sense is that I did bet this one. I took a shot with the under. I took 49.5. Carolina, of course, very strong on defense as well as on offense, and Cam Newton, when he gets a big lead, tends to, sort of salt the game away and burn time off the clock. New Orleans, what's up with their offense? I'm not exactly sure, but they have been focusing on defense a lot more recently and did have a decent game on defense last game, so it's a high total. I took a shot with the under 49.5. Joe Duffy, what do you think about that?
I can understand your logic, and I do think the Saints defense should get better. Of course, they did fire Rob Ryan, and they had that off week where I really expect them to respond a little bit better, but I do think that clearly their defense has an upside with a pretty high total. That might be a pretty good play, but all in all, I'm actually going to be going with the underdog here, the Saints. And remember again, we talked about it on the last video that we just recorded together. Regression to the mean means a lot of counterintuitive angles. And an angle that's been very kind to us this year and over the years, when you have essentially it says a team with a worse turnover margin this time of year, significantly worse turnover margin late in the season is 736 and 600 against the spread. But again, because turnovers, especially at the professional level, they're correctable. Maybe there's a little bit of good fortune that goes with having good turnover ratio. Of course, it's not all good fortune, but there's a little bit of luck involved, and that's where teams can make their adjustments. But listen to this, Peter. Sit down for this one, Peter Loshak. Teams that have won 11 in a row or more, and they're road favorites of 6 or more, it's obviously very rare, but they're only 1-9 against the spread, despite an 8-2 straight up mark, so it means they'll probably win but not cover. And in fact, the one cover was the first game on the list. So in fact, such teams have dropped 9 in a row, basically a great team late in the season that is a big road favorite. Yes.
That is one hell of an insightful trend there, Joe Duffy.
It is. But again, it's not, in some respects, it shouldn't be that surprising because that's one of the reasons it separates the pros from the Joes. The pros know that so many good angles are counterintuitive, where, of course, the Joes are like, of course Carolina's a better team. I want to bet Carolina. So it shouldn't be all that much of a shock. And look, the Saints, I know, for a couple of years they were deadly at home, and then I guess it was last year they actually all of a sudden weren't winning at home. Still, all in all, one of the bigger home field advantages are in New Orleans when they have a raucous crowd. I think the crowd's going to be fired up to end the Panthers' undefeated season. So I do think it's going to be a bigger than average home field advantage. And the home team is 8-3 straight up in the Saints games this year. Now, whether or not we'll see an upset, look, I would be less surprised than most people at an upset, but I do think we'll see a cover by the home team.
Awesome analysis from Joe Duffy, OffshoreInsiders.com. So you're going to go official with New Orleans +7.
I would say there's a very good chance I have a big red check mark next to it as a probable premium play.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm assuming that the Panthers are going to be a massive public side. So maybe if we see this line dip to 6.5, that'll be an indication that there's big sharp action by kickoff on the Saints. And Joe Duffy recommending a play on the Saints +7. I'm taking a shot with the under. Right now it's 49.5 or 50 market wide. Awesome analysis as always, Joe Duffy. And this is what you do at your website that has resulted in such long-term success. Big sample sizes, right, Joe? Tell us about that.
It is. And by the way, you're not going too far out on a limb when you say road favorite in the NFL is going to be a public side. But yeah, it's been a spectacular year again. Kind of a turkey Thanksgiving weekend, a rare chance that the bookmakers breathe a sigh of relief, but it ain't going to happen again anytime soon. Spectacular year, 28.5 years of winning. Joe Duffy's picks. I know I got 2 wise guy plays up in college football for this weekend. Almost definitely going to have a couple in the NFL. I'll get to round out a couple things later tonight. Just visit offshoreinsiders.com. We'll have all the details.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Peter.